Hello, on 9th of August 2005, I was wandering in the hills of Exmouth. It is a small tourist town about 1200 kilometers north of Perth along the coast. It is on the shores of Indian Ocean, being lapped by its emerald green waves. A few kilometers south of Exmouth is a huge array of hills and caves. A large part of these hills has been designated as a national park. I was wandering in one of such parks when I stopped in my tracks. There was a snake about 1 meter long lying perpendicular in my path and unaware of me was stirring slowly. I was in a state of shock and stopped moving when I saw a huge eagle with a wingspan of about 2 meters swoop down on the snake, carried it in its claws, and flew to the other side of the hills. As I was watching this in disbelief, the eagle turned around to the hills on my left and then dropped the snake on one of the small hills and flew away. I scanned the hills for where the snake had fallen and noticed that there were a number of caves on those hills. I started gazing one of these caves, which seemed to attract me more than usual. I decided to go and explore the cave. I picked up my camera, hiked for about 10 minutes, and reached the entrance. The cave had a tilted oval-shaped entrance big enough for a few people to stand there. My heart was racing with anticipation and fear as I peeped inside the cave. I noticed that the walls of the cave were made of a red-colored porous stone with many holes. I stepped inside the cave. It was very dark and I could barely see anything except that the cave was about 10 meters deep and its deep end was a large chamber slightly bigger on the left side. I felt very calm and secure despite the fear of the snakes, and a serenity descended on me. I waited for my eyes to adjust to the darkness of the cave, and then noticed that in the center of the deep chamber, on top of what seemed like a mound of stones, was something which was shining vaguely. I took a few more steps inside, but could not see anything else in the pitch darkness except a soft but very small light coming from an object on top of the center mound. I turned my camera on so that I could see in the darkness. As the camera focused on the darkness and intensified the image on its screen, I saw a large stone with 2 sections and another larger but less shiny stone next to it. The faint light I had noticed in the center was coming from the 2-sectioned stone. As I moved the camera to the 2-sectioned stone, I noticed it was brighter than the other stones around it. Then a shock hit me. I was seeing in each section of the 2-sectioned stone some kind of a self-illuminating figure. As the figures came in focus, I saw a familiar deity figure and the words, "This is Lakshmi," came out of my mouth. I was seeing what looked like a natural self-illuminated murti of Lakshmi on the right section of the stone. I noticed another figure on the left section of the stone, and before I could clearly see what it is, "This must be Vishnu," came from my mouth. Then I focused on the second less shiny stone and the words Ganesh came out of my mouth. I turned off the camera and was now watching the murtis directly as I could see them in their own dim light. I do not know for how long I was standing there and watching, but a feeling of total peace and serenity and oneness with everything engulfed me, and I became unaware of my surroundings. Waking out of my trance, I got reminded of the snake on these hills and quickly walked back and came out of the cave. As I descended the hills, looking back towards the cave now and then, I noticed a face on the side of the hills. It was also perhaps a natural formation of stones, but looked like a dwarpal of the temple that I had just visited. The feeling of peace and serenity left me as I descended the hills and returned back to Exmouth. For many days I kept thinking about the cave. Had I seen a natural stone formation manifesting Lakshmi in this remote cave on the Indian Ocean? Or had I seen a real ancient temple which is in ruins now? I do not know.